Politics. Let's talk about that on today's 10-minute talk. Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's 10-minute talk. My name is Pastor Jay Wentworth. I'm the lead pastor at Spirit Alive Wesleyan Church in Yakima, Washington. Politics. Oh man, as most of you I'm sure know, just under a year from now, we will be voting for president in the 2024 elections, among other seats and things like that. But I wanted to talk about politics today because I have seen great Christian people throw themselves into a commitment with a political party or a political candidate. And now, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In fact, I think as Christians, we have a tendency to commit and be loyal and faithful to something, just like we have to Jesus. And I think that's part of our lifestyle. That's how we live. And I think that's how we should live. We should be committed to something unless we are presented with a more godly point and we need to change because we have to align with Christ. But that's the problem, friends, is some of us have become so committed to a party or a candidate, and I'm talking about left or right, or liberal or conservative, it doesn't matter, okay, that we ignore some things that are going on that are not biblical and are taking us further away from Christ. And friends, that is a problem. I want to go to 2 Timothy 1:7, and it says this: "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control." Here's what happens, friends. We take the spirit of power God has given us, which is an amazing spirit to have. And we see that spirit in the political candidate and the leadership of the political candidate or party that we follow. And we agree with a lot of the policies. And so we align ourselves with them. And then what happens is we get so committed to that spirit of power, we forget that it says, and love and self-control. And so what that means, friends, is within that power, there's a responsibility to love everyone and to control what we say and do so it does not push people further away from Jesus Christ. That is our responsibility as Christians, which goes over our responsibility as liberals or conservatives or whatever we may be. And it's not anti-biblical to be either. There are some policies on both sides that are anti-biblical, some attitudes on both sides that are not Christian. And so we have to be careful and pick what we think is best to align us and encourage us to walk towards and others towards Jesus Christ. But what I see, friends, is some perfectly amazing Christian people making fun of and bullying and picking on people of the other political party they disagree with or the political candidate that's running against their candidate or even just on the other side of things. And they see them as enemies. And even if you do see them as an enemy, the Bible says to love your enemies. And friends, bullying and picking on somebody that you don't even know, which by the way is gossip, is not loving your enemies. I see good Christian people openly making fun of the other political candidate or party. I see them picking on them. I see them being outright mean without holding anything back, especially around those who agree with them, which is super cowardly. Friends, are we willing to stand up for Jesus as much as we're willing to stand up for a political party or candidate? Are we willing to put Jesus first in that way? Now, today I have 3 questions for you, but I want to talk a little bit more about those questions. And so I'm going to begin to talk about those questions now. Question number 1. Do people know that you would choose Jesus over any candidate? If people looked at your social media feed or listened to your conversations, would they immediately understand that Jesus would be chosen by you over any political candidate on any day, in any given situation? You would always choose Jesus if Jesus was running against even your favorite candidate. Would they know that? Without you telling them, would they know that by your actions? If the answer is no, then we have to figure some things out and change some things. Because it should always be apparent that we choose Jesus over a political party or a political candidate. Whether we think God is for a candidate or a party or not for a candidate or a party is besides the point. People should know that you are Christian first. Not Democratic first, not Republican first, not conservative first, not liberal first. Christian first. That is what they should know about you. Question 2. Would you want your child to conduct themselves like the candidate you are voting for? I want you to think seriously about that question. If your child was saying the things that your candidate you're voting for is saying, if they were having debates, would you want your child to act in that debate as your candidate is acting? And I'm not talking about how they're answering. I'm talking about how they're conducting themselves. Are they conducting themselves as Christ? Because I want my child to act like Christ towards others. That's how I want them to act. And if a candidate I need to vote for has great policies but acts like a buffoon, then I have to second guess whether or not I should be voting for that person. Are there other candidates out there that act more like Jesus? And some of you might be saying, well, they have no chance to win. That's what they said about Jesus too. Isn't it though? But when people rally around what's good and rally around what's best, and what they truly know in their heart of hearts is the right way to do things, that is when a difference is made. Question 3. Are you choosing people over policy or policy over people? Because friends, let me tell you right now, Jesus chose people over policy. That's why grace exists. That's why the Pharisees were enemies of Christ, because they chose policy over people. We need to choose people over policy. And if we are so uber focused on what policies are the most Christian, and that is important to look at Christian policies and what is truth and what is not truth. But grace matters, and love matters, and self-control matters. Do the people who are lost matter more to you than your candidate winning, or that the policy you really love and care about and think is the best thing passing? Do the people matter more? Do the lost souls matter more? Because what does the Great Commandment and Great Commission say? Love God. Love others as yourself. That's people-centered. Go and make disciples. That's people-centered. The truth is behind that and holds that up. But if we don't have people to disciple, then what's the point? Politics is causing Christianity to lose people because we're more focused on the policies. We're bigger fans of parties and candidates than we are the Son of God. And friends, that should not be. Subscribe to this channel if you would like. subscribe to my personal channel. They're both down there. Thank you for watching today. Have an amazing Thanksgiving and an amazing week. God bless.